Sir, are you classified as human?
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Hello. Bit rusty.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Melissa. Hello, Anush. And hello,
Hi,
Carly. And Jack. It's lovely to see you.
I refuse to take ownership of being the host again.
Oh, you haven't forgotten, have you?
No.
It's been burning there for the last 8.
I've been waiting for week 11 to see you again, Paul.
You were a magnificent host. You know, you took it all on your shoulders, and we've got some unit evaluation happening right now. And I think you turned your camera off. For me, what? Well, I'm just going to take my name off the unit evaluation and put your name on, because you were, as far as we're concerned, the class, because I'm part of the class, you were the host. So if there's anything went wrong with the unit, as we've got to land. Anyway, lovely to see you. And it has been a while, hasn't it? It's been an awfully long time. Okay, not long enough. Anush, I can read your mind. Anush is going, not long enough, and we have to suffer you on the critical social unit. So some people suffer me on that unit, which is, there's no excuse for me messing up my intro, because I've been practicing many weeks just to get the intro right for the musical intro thing, but I screwed it up. Apologies.
I was real sad I didn't have you for that particular subject, actually, because I did it term 3, 22.
Ah, you would have just got me.
I had you for the videos. I didn't have you for the actual lectures, though.
Yeah, trust me, you didn't miss out on anything, because the tutorials, Anush will tell you, complete disaster. The video is as good as it gets.
I actually wanted to say he missed a lot.
You missed, yeah. That was not necessarily a compliment, was it? You missed a lot, but you didn't add an adjective in terms of what that lot was. Anyway, we shall move on. But I'm pleased to see you here. And we have been away for a while, so you haven't called, you haven't written. I don't know what's been going on, but I'm glad you're here. And you've had some time with quantitative and with Charlene. And Charlene has loved delivering that bit of the unit, and she said some lovely things about you. So I don't believe any of it, but she says some lovely things about you. But now we're back to qual. And the good news is that this is the bit of qual that you don't get assessed on. So we're just finishing off the unit with this little bit of qual for you. And I'll tell you all about what the purpose for this week and next week is, because it's a bit unusual, isn't it? When you you turn up and you think, oh, I'm not being assessed anymore on qual, but I'm still here. That's odd. So I'll tell you all about why we've got these 2 weeks. But first, a bit of housekeeping, because it's been a while since we've met, and we might have forgotten the weird and wonderful way we run these sessions. So our room is open for 2 hours, which is an awfully long time out of anyone's life, particularly yours, spending company all that time with me. So I'm going to stay here for an hour. And around about the hour mark, I don't want to trigger anyone in the room. Around about the hour mark,
I'll probably have to run away at the same time anyway, Paul. So you'll have to get Carly or someone else to do it.
We've built the job up, haven't we? We've built that. You know, isn't it a wonderful job, hosting? Isn't it wonderful? And so yeah. If you want to stay on, and if you have that extra hour or any time after we finish at 2, just to spend some time with each other, that's great. I think it's always nice to catch up with people, I think. But also, I've got an activity I've got today. The discussion may continue a little bit in relation to that. We'll see how that goes. So, also reminding you, you should have said this right at the start. I can edit it out if you object. I'm recording the session, but I'm only recording my little window and anything that appears in chat over here. Pretending it's real. Over there. How do I point? There. It's real. Promise you.
Yes, you're pointing at the right place.
I'm pointing at it. That's good. So there, anything that goes in chat when you're in the main room will appear there. If it appears in chat when we're in the breakout rooms, it also appears here when we come back in the main room. Your video feeds aren't getting recorded. Your audio does. Anytime you speak in this main room, your audio is getting recorded. But when we're in the breakout rooms, nothing there is recorded. Neither you nor I, nothing that happens in the breakout rooms gets recorded. And we're recording this for all the people who aren't able to be here. So we're just recording the intro where we set up the activity, and then the outro where we talk through what we've done in the breakout rooms. And of course, in my crazy setup, the text, psych. Did I say that right? Am I showing my age? This is a young person saying, isn't it? Psych. Sick? Are you dyslexic? Or sorry, psych? Okay.
I am actually, but it's actually, you got it right the first time.
Oh, 2 hits in one go. Psych and you're dyslexic. So that may not necessarily be the way you spell it, but it's the way you pronounce it. Fantastic. So, as you'll see, you might not be able to see it on my screen, but I'm putting these little bits of text up here for people who watch the recording so that they're able to see chat and also see the stuff I put up. Is all of that clear? Is all of that, it's all coming back to you? Okay. So let me tell you about this week. Oops. There we go. Oh, it's all gone to pot. See how rusty I am. I haven't been spending my time well, have I? Whilst I've been away. Right. Bear with me. Oh dear. Right. Here we go. Right. I've got my setup is all wrong. Here we are. Right. I know what I've done wrong. Here we go. So the reading. Oh, that's wrong. It's chapters 4 to 7, I think, the reading. Got that bit wrong. What else? I'm turning ticker off. Just I think something went wrong with the ticker. It's the reading, if you want to read up on this stuff, chapters 4 to 7 in the Braun and Clark book. Pointing that is actually real. And it's all about project planning. So our 2 weeks is all about project planning. And what these weeks are designed for is to give you some preparation that will help you going into level 3, but also beyond level 3. So after you graduate, whether you continue in your professional career, change professional careers, and if you were looking into setting up a research project or any type of project that involves qualitative data collection, this will help prepare you for that. If you go into an honors program, you have to do a research project, and if you want to do a qualitative project, it'll also help you with that. It's mostly geared for professional work because I'm talking about budgets and things. And so most of our graduates go into professional careers rather than into honors. But it'll serve 2 purposes because you can do research in your honors, research in professional career. So it's setting you up for beyond level 3, but also setting you up for the level 3 methods unit as well, because some of the stuff that we'll be talking about today will help you in relation to stuff you're going to be doing on methods 3 when you get there. So I've got a task for you, and I think we could work as one group unless suddenly we get lots of people come in. Maybe we don't need to go into a breakout room. I will stop the recording when we start the task. What do you think? We think we can work as a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Melissa's got the thumbs up. That's 6, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. Sophie, I'm so sorry. Your camera's off. You don't exist. 6. So there's 6 of us. So we can work as one group. Sound good? Fantastic. Okay. So the task. Here we go. So remember the usual rules. You'll know this from Critical Social if you're doing Critical Social, but if you're not doing that, this is a reminder. So your job, and it's okay, Sophie, it's probably a very good reason for your camera being off. Unless you've got a very good reason, I'm sure you have, cameras on, so you can engage with each other. And your other task is to talk and to listen. My role is to listen and to keep time and to try not to talk once you get into the activity. And the activity, this is essentially what we're going to be doing. It's about project planning. And you got 4 tasks. You're going to plan this small-scale project, and you're going to have to decide, it's a qualitative project, it's how many participants you're going to recruit for the project, what are the tasks involved in carrying out the project, when will you do those tasks, how much will it all cost? And if it costs, don't worry, Anoush, I'm going to put this up in chat so you can see it in chat. I can see you writing away or maybe doing something else and pretending to take notes, whatever it is. I won't judge. So number 4 is how much will it all cost? You're going to have to cost this project. I'll tell you about the project in a second. And you've got to keep this project to budget. You're basically putting in a bid for some funding. Okay, so the project is, let me just, as I said I would do it, let's do it. I'm going to post a little bit of a fuller agenda in terms of those tasks in chat, but also if you have Moodle open, and we only need one person in the group to have Moodle open to keep an eye on it. If you have Moodle open, you will see it here. So week 11, under the videos, you'll have the task here. So project details. So the aim of the project is to contribute to the understanding of issues that impact university students' mental health. Research question, the key thing. How do university academics in psychology talk about student mental health? Now, you'll notice this is tied into that transcript that you did the mapping of. Remember that for assessment 1? But also you used that transcript for assessment 2, didn't you, to develop survey questions. So it's going back to that transcript and fleshing that out a bit. That transcript comes from a project. So I want you to plan the project that would come up, that would do more of those interviews. So it's the methodology is qualitative. The method is individual face-to-face interviewing. The key thing, face-to-face interviewing, not online. Okay, so it's going to have to be face-to-face. The budget can't exceed 8,000. It's got to start in January 2024 and end in July 31st, 2024. So it's just that's about 8 months, isn't it? So it's an 8-month project. And you've got 2 parts of the project planning I want you to do. And some parts have already been decided. We've decided that it's definitely going to be interviewing. And we've decided that we're going to produce transcripts that are going to be analyzed. So that's what's been decided. But you have to decide on how many interviews. So how many participants, how many interviews. And you need to list all of those tasks to be able to complete the interviews, doing the interviews, and then doing the analysis of those interviews. And you've got 4 categories. At the bottom here, and I'll put this up in chat for you too, there's a link. Now, this is my gentle way of bringing you back into qualitative, okay? Because I've given you a spreadsheet. See what I've done? I've compromised a bit, and I thought, I know you've been enjoying yourself with numbers, so I'm gonna give you a spreadsheet. So in that link, you'll see a spreadsheet, and this is your project planning. So there's numbers, because I know you love numbers. I know you're just pretending to love words and meaning and like human things. I know you just like numbers and being cold-hearted researchers. So this is a gentle way back into being a real person. So you've got this table, and what you need to do is, your first task is deciding how many people. Let's go back to those tasks. Yep. So your first task is how many people, and then all of the things you're going to have to do to be able to conduct the interviews, complete them, and do the analysis. And once you've got all of those tasks, I want you to allocate them to 4 different categories. I've given you 2 categories, which are conducting interviews. So all the tasks related to the conducting of the interviews, all the tasks related to the analysis of the interview transcripts. And there are 2 other categories that you have to figure out what they are. And you need these 2 other categories with particular tasks to be able to get to these other stages. Does that make sense? So you got to think of what sort of tasks are involved in that first job, and what do you describe that kind of job as, and then you conduct the interviews, and then the second job. Does that make sense? Does this make sense? This made sense to me. I was very drunk at the time, but oh, hi Amy, welcome. Stuff on Moodle if you need to catch up.
Hi.
Hi, don't worry. I didn't see you come in. I'm so sorry. You've been here all along. there's stuff on Moodle to read through. I'm just sort of halfway through explaining the task. So there's this spreadsheet, and the link is, can you see? I think maybe you don't have the link, Amy, because you just joined us. Have you got the link in chat? Can you see that?
I'll just have a look.
Okay.
Yes, I can see it. Thank you.
Perfect. So it's going to that link and you get the spreadsheet. And we're going to work as one big group. So we'll help each other out. So that's, you've got to decide those tasks and where they are. And then you're going to have to start timetabling the activities in. And it's just all of the tasks you've listed for, say, conducting interviews. Like if you're complete idiots about this, what you do is, let's just do all of our interviews right at the start in February before we've done anything else. That might not go so well, because there might be a few things you need to do before you can get to interviewing people. But say you decided to do that, I want you to fill in the Gantt chart by doing, this is like Excel. You've all been into, you've been SPSSing or something, haven't you? Like Excels are just so passe, aren't they? Like, is it Excel spreadsheet like beneath you? It's like is that dumbing down for you? Or do you like the comfort of the old? Anyway, okay. So I know we should use Excel like this. We're using Excel sort of qualitatively. So decide if you're going to do all the interviewing, everything involved with doing the interviews in February. So you block out that section and then go up to your formatting, fill color, and just put a color in like that. That makes sense? So that's your Gantt chart. It's showing where you're doing when. And oh, by the way, you can click on group one. There's only one group here, but go to group one for the one that you're going to fill in. So once you've done your Gantt chart, then you want to do your costing. Cost out all of those activities. And say you wanted to interview 15,000 people because you've come out of quantitative and you think big numbers are impressive. For some reason, you've forgotten that small size doesn't matter with us, all right? So you decided 150,000, and you put 150,000 into your costings. I've already costed out how much per hour we're going to have to spend. We've got a research assistant, and that's typically they cost about $60 an hour, which is their salary plus any on costs, tax and all that stuff, insurance and things. So as you can see, that number is so big it doesn't fit into the spreadsheet. So you do one interview, then you spent $60. Okay, and your job is to budget it so that your total does. Oh, I'm in front of it. Sorry, let me get out of the way. Still not out of the way. So your budget has to come under 8,000. Does this make sense? Not in terms of what the hell are we doing this for, but in terms of doing it. Do you understand? Are we doing any questions? Okay. So you're in competition with people. No one else here, because there's no other group. But imagine there is another group. Maybe I've got two groups going on. You don't know. I might be moonlighting somewhere. So just imagine there's another group also putting in a bid. So you want to come in under the budget, within budget, and with a really good project. Okay, so over to you. I shall turn my microphone down. Oh, I just thought I've missed so many things in chat, but I realized that's me posting things in chat. I was about to apologize for not reading what I'd put. Anyway. Right, we'll stop recording and then you can speak freely. I've come prepared with sound effects.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. My mic wasn't working and I was like, oh, whoops, why is everyone ignoring me? For the two yellow rectangles, I noticed someone else put it in after I.
Because I think you're a bloody genius. So with the Gantt chart, what was fantastic was you put those tasks in parallel. So commonly people do this thing where they go, we'll do the interview, so that will be March. And then we'll do analysis, so that will come after the interviewing, so that'll be April. So then you decided you're going to do a second round of interviewing. So you might have then done that, got that in May, but you didn't do that thing of sequential. And what's really interesting is quantitative tends to be sequentially planned. You know, it's very linear, like in that, you know, don't have nightmares about assessment 1 again. But that whole thing about planning, planning an experiment or planning a survey, you know, you do this, then you do this, then you do this. So you collect your data, you do your analysis, then you do your write-up. With qualitative, it's that iterative process, which also means you can do things in parallel. So you can do an interview, do analysis as you're planning for the next interview with the next person. So you don't have to finish all of your interviews before you start your analysis. That makes sense? So the fact you can have these two processes going on at the same time is important. And you could have captured that iterative thing in terms of after interview 1, do the transcribing, do analysis. And maybe if stuff comes up, you could ask that in interview number 2 or 3. So you could change the interviews as you're doing them. So you could have captured that by not doing the second round of interviews. But it was still genius, the fact that you were doing this stuff in parallel and you're capturing iterative processes. Last couple of things. Oh, what was interesting, given you're supposed to have been trained in your numbers, you didn't... I mean, one way of doing this would have gone to $8,000. How many hours does that buy us? That's 130 odd hours. Okay, we've got 130 hours. Let's see how we divvy them up. You didn't do that. You went for the nuclear option, didn't you? You just thought, let's start. You know, that was you, Carly, wasn't it? I know what I want to buy. Let's just go out and buy it, and then I'll see when I run out of money. So it was kind of like that, you know, process of you just thought, oh, let's start with 15 and we'll just see how it plans out. And that was really interesting. That was more qualitative. You kind of just start and see where it goes. If you had a quantitative mindset on, you would have gone straight to the end and go, okay, this is how many hours, this is that, and here's our parameters, and let's work within the parameters. So I loved the creativity, even though it was terrible budgeting. And the final impressive thing that you had was the recognition that you'd have to at least double the hours when it comes to analysis. That if you were spending 4 hours on transcribing, that's at least 8 hours of analysis. And people so often get those two things wrong. They underestimate transcribing. You went for the lower limit, that's fine. But they underestimate analysis. And you're right, it's at least twice as long, at least. So you were impressive when you were wrong, and you're impressive when you were right, is what I'm saying. So any reactions to my to that? It's okay. All right, sorry, you just realised I've just started assessing you, haven't I? I can't stop. Essentially, I just graded you, didn't I, really? If I was grading you, I would give you a... it'd be a high D, low HD.
I was just thinking nobody ever let me be in charge of a budget, and then we should be fine. Anything else, I'm your girl. Happy to help. Don't give me a credit card. Don't give me a plan. Don't give me this Gantt chart, and then we're good.
It's actually in an odd way. That's not trying to justify your lifestyle there, but it's actually a qualitative way of doing things, that you don't know where you're going to end up in terms of your credit rating, right? You don't know how much debt you're going to get into. You're just going to see how it goes, see where it goes. And it's that there's something weird about planning projects. Like it's just antithetical to qualitative work, that you have got to decide what the thing looks like by the time you start rather than by the time you end. So qualitative is often let the thing evolve and I'll tell you what we did after we've done it because I've got no clue at the start. So project planning makes it really difficult. But it is that process. It's like that process. Like qualitative researchers are terrible planners and terrible at budgets because we don't work like that. We can't say, right, this is how we're going to end with an acquittal of spending $8,000 and not a dollar more, not a dollar less. And now we're just going to plan how to get there. Qualitative goes, we don't know where the hell we're going to end up, but we do know it's going to be interesting. And we know it's not going to involve anything from prime up. No matter, sorry, I'm making stereotyping you there, Carly, but no matter how desperate I am, I refuse to shop in certain shops. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? It's a standard, isn't it? Even though the clothes look as good, we all know. We all know that poor people dress in that stuff.
I'm not in a position financially where I can be too picky about where I shop. Hey, I had some McGoring that's best before was a week before I ate it the other day, and I was like, I've achieved something here. I don't know if it's something good, but definitely achieved that typical uni life, that's for sure.
Absolutely. There's pride in that stuff. You can be, yeah, it's an achievement. Well done. Well done. So are we feeling good about that? Do you want to hang on and talk some more? Do you want to get back to the rest of the messy lives we all have? Have you got many assessments left? Who's got assessments left? Carly has. Melissa, have you?
Just one.
Just one.
Well, for my minor, so not too bad.
Okay, so not as much pressure.
No.
Okay. Sophie, you got? Anish, you got?
2 more written ones, 2 more tests.
Okay. And Anish, you've got? Oh, sorry, of course you have.
Written one and one.
Okay.
One, please.
Yeah, I forget. I've set you one. I'm responsible for one of those. Apologies for that. Okay. So maybe if you want to get back to that, I'll does anyone want to hang on in the room and kind of, do you want to kind of, yeah, soothe each other?
I think I'll go. Thank you.
Go. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Next week, we're doing a bit more of the project planning just to finish off this bit of project planning. If you're there, I'd love to see you there. I'll be here. So whether you're here or not, I'll be here. And if I see you, I would love to see you. And thanks so much for coming along today. And thanks for wrecking the budget. That's, yeah. Yeah. I'm the guy who has to pay. That's all right. You're good. I'm going to have to work extra hours. 19,200. Jesus. I'm going to have to flip burgers now to make up that money. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Paul.
Have a lovely rest of the
See
day.
everyone. Bye.
I know, I struggled finding the little red button too.